taking a live look now at our Storm Tracker 2 radar this morning. We have rain moving in from the west.
That's right, and it looks like there's even some snow in there as well. Many people have already sent us photos of snow already hitting the ground in a lot of areas, especially over in Idaho.
We say good morning. Glad to have you here with us on Up with KREM on the CW22. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Channing Curtis. Now let's get right outside to meteorologist Jeremy Legoo for the very latest on the forecast. So Jeremy, what is it like outside? We know we're on the South Hill, of course. So is it more rain or is it more snow?
It's basically like kind of tiny little snowflakes that are melting as they fall. If I look down to the ground, they're not even making it to the ground. If I look up, I can kind of see them. That's where we are here on the South Hill and in downtown Spokane. But you don't have to go far to find some of that snow, and even with temperatures hovering near or just above freezing, it is snow coming down across the region. How cool is that? We saw a little bit of that early on this morning. It's starting to dissipate or wind down and move out. We're losing this first initial push of moisture that arrived with the front itself that moves through. But here you go. Look at it kind of winding down. In Coeur d'Alene, we have snow on the roads. You don't have to go far. You head up Interstate 90 into the mountains in Kellogg. You got snow coming down there. You head north to Chewelah, you got a little bit of snow on the ground there. You head just north of Coeur d'Alene along 95, you're hitting Garwood. That's where you have snow on the ground as well. Medical Lake, a little bit of snow in some of the grassy areas. You can see it out there in Cheney coming down just a bit. It always tends to go there before it hits us here on the South Hill. So you got a little there as well, but this really dies down here rather quickly in the next half hour. And then we're kind of in the break before the real moisture arrives. And that real moisture arrives later on today. We're talking heavy rain tonight that melts all of that fresh snow you see on the ground early on this morning. So enjoy it while you can.
Well, get ready for some extra slippery and wet roads this winter.
Yeah, between staffing shortages and losing employees to the vaccine mandate, Washington State Department of Transportation worried about staffing this season.
KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez is joining us live now to explain more on what drivers should expect on the roads this coming winter. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Channing and Tim. So WashDOT is specifically responsible for plowing our areas, highways and freeways specifically, but their main priority when a storm hits is making sure I-90 is clear. You can see I-90 right behind me on your screen here as well. So going into winter, there's going to be a potential for slower plowing from WashDOT. Specifically, the Eastern Washington region of Washington State Department of Transportation is down 25% of their ice and snow employees. That's empty positions like plow drivers and mechanics who make the plows usable. They're trying to fill a total of 65 winter-specific positions. 38 of those positions are open after workers left over the vaccine mandate. WashDOT says they won't be able to fill all those positions before winter hits. That means more snow and ice on our roads.
Our plow operators will be faced with, for example, in a large snow event, is whether they leave, let's say, part of I-90 compact snow and ice, versus making it bare and wet and going someplace else and doing some plowing operations.
Now, to help, drivers should slow down around plows and allow them to do their jobs as efficiently as possible. The department is recruiting now, looking to hire. Plow drivers need to have CDL licenses to be hired, but finding workers to fill the mechanic jobs has actually been the hardest recently, and they're already down half of their mechanic staff. Without them, there just won't be as many plows on the roads as there possibly could be. So I actually was able to pull up the governmentjobs.com website. This right here is just a quick look at one of their job openings, the Highway Maintenance Worker 3, Colfax, Davenport area. Just scroll down, you can apply at the very bottom here. It gives you all the qualifications, requirements, and pay and everything like that. So if you're interested, you can just go to governmentjobs.com, specifically the Washington WashDOT part of that page. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Now to our big stories. We are tracking new information about last week's shooting at a Motel 6 in West Spokane that left an ATF agent and a suspect in the hospital.
So one of the suspects made his first appearance in federal court. So according to court documents, officers found one of the suspects that they were searching for after the shooting. The other suspect was booked into the Spokane County Jail on Tuesday.
VINCENT Petrushkin appeared in federal court yesterday, and he was the one who left the scene. Court documents say the undercover ATF agent planned to meet with the man at the Motel 6 for an illegal gun sale last Friday.
Spokane police responded to reports of gunshots and found the man with several gunshot wounds. Surveillance video shows that 2 men leaving in a Dodge Charger, including Petrushkin.
When police interviewed him, he says he and another man were at the motel for the gun sale, but the other man decided to do it alone. Petrushkin's next court appearance is scheduled for next week. 7:06, it is time for your morning rush. More news in less time.
Governor Jay Inslee has chosen State Senator Steve Hobbs to be the next Secretary of State. The governor appointed Hobbs to take over the job being vacated by Republican Kim Wyman, who's taking a job with the Biden administration. The governor says he chose someone who has demonstrated independence. Now, Hobbs is a Democrat who has voted with Republicans on several occasions.
I think it would be horrible to have a Secretary of State that is too ideologically to the far left or far right to fill this position. And so I think the governor was thinking about just all Washingtonians on both sides of the aisle.
Hobbs is Asian American, and he will be the first person of color to serve as Washington's Secretary of State.
North Idaho's legislative boundary changes could impact the Coeur d'Alene tribe. Our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press report tribe officials think changes to the boundaries could hurt representation and be vulnerable to legal challenges. A bipartisan commission approved a new map that revised 35 legislative districts last week. The Coeur d'Alene reservation is currently represented by Districts 3 and 5. The change would make the reservation largely represented by District 2. The tribe's legislative director says the reservation prefers the split, and as the communities align more with their separate areas.
A beloved tradition that was put on hold during the pandemic is making a big comeback to Gonzaga's campus. That's right, Tent City is back. Once again, students can camp out in order to be in line for the best seats at Saturday's home game. So students anxiously waited for a tweet on Wednesday telling them where they can get in line to get their tent number. Once that tweet went out, it was a mad dash across campus to grab one of those coveted tent tickets. Students will start camping out again on Friday so that they can secure the best seats when their Zags take on the Texas Longhorns on Saturday.
All eyes will be on that game. Channy's watching.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's your morning rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media.
And we're already getting quite a few photos of snow coming down around the inland northwest. Keep them coming, keep them coming. We have snow in downtown Coeur d'Alene, snow in Kellogg, snow in Chewelah, snow just north of Coeur d'Alene as well. So keep the photos coming in. I want to see them, and I want to share them back here with you because the snow, it's winding down quickly, and I'm going to let you know why it won't last all that long.
We're going back in time as part of Boomtown Week here on KREM 2.
One of the things that we said as we went through the Browns Edition Historic District process was sometimes those big mansions from the 1890s or early 1900s that were broken up as early as the 1920s or 1930s, those are some of the most affordable housing units that we have in Spokane. And so by doing something like a district protection, we're actually protecting affordable housing.
Coming up, I'm taking a look at the impact historic homes are having on housing in our area.